go. It is that time of the week for the Global Bob Show. Global Bob Show, we are the crossroad of technology and politics. Last week, we started the podcast back up with episode 26, and with the kickoff, we brought in a special guest, and her name is Hello Shelley. And I cannot believe the amount of fanfare we got by having Hello Shelley on the podcast. What's really cool is everybody started sending me messages and text and all kinds of fun stuff saying, hey, can you bring her back on the show? And I made it very clear to her that this is the Global Bob Show, not the Hello Shelley Show. So to keep the fans engaged and keeping her from starting her own podcast that would be greatly more listened to than mine, I said, hey, well, okay, we'll bring her back. We'll see. She survived week 1. We'll see if she survives week 2. So without further ado, hello, Shelley.
Hello.
All right. So she is back
I'm back.
Back for episode 27. And what are we talking about today?
We're talking about how not to be a victim when it comes to scams.
Oh, scams. What kind of scams?
Phishing scams, employment, which is a big one.
Employment scams?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that, but we'll circle back to it.
Yeah. Charity scams.
Charity? Okay, I've heard of charity scams. Okay.
The fake antivirus scams.
Fake antivirus scams. Wow, that's a lot of scams, and these are all happening online. I think I talked about this a few podcasts ago, but as we know, with the Global Bob Show, that was years ago. And so I guess we will revisit the topic and see where this takes us. So we have lots of different scams that come out, but you know, all of these scams kind of have something in common, whether it's the phishing scam, the romance scam, which I like that one, the romance one, because they call it the honey trap, which is kind of a play on a honeypot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's investment scams. And then, of course, you told us about tech support scams. Shopping, I know that that's a big one, shopping, and we'll break some of these down a little more. Health insurance, that's another one too that is on the rise now because, I mean, our health insurance is crazy. You know, I thought with Obamacare, you know, Obama was going to be our mama and he was going to take care of us from the cradle to the grave. But I mean, even with the healthcare marketplace, you know, that kind of opened up for some scammy type stuff. You said fake antivirus. That's one that has been around actually for quite some time, the whole fake antivirus. And we'll touch on some of these and Google AdWords too, which, you know, and a lot of these will all be combined together. You know, we talked about the Google AdWords and we said some antivirus and stuff, but we'll unpack all of these. And I think one of the ones that I didn't quite see coming at a certain angle is the cryptocurrency scam. What was that girl's name? The one that she came out with a meme.
Haley Welch.
Haley Welch. Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's Haley Welch and not Haley Varner, which is my niece. My firstborn niece's name is Haley Varner. And there I go. I'm leaking personal information out on the internet because maybe that could be something that a scammer uses against me, right?
Yeah.
So Haley Welch. What was it that Haley was famous for? Like, why did she end up on the internet?
The Hawk-Tuah girl.
Hawk-Tuah.
Yeah, she was interviewed like on the street with her friend.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And
the girl, and I think what it was like an indie type YouTuber type guy. Yeah. And somebody said that she was a school teacher and
oh gosh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can tell you I do have a couple of my teachers that listen to the podcast, so please don't think this is aimed towards y'all whatsoever. But I didn't have any teachers like Haley Welch, and if I did, then that would be kind of interesting. Cool. So yeah, on hers though, with the cryptocurrency, what they did was, and naturally, like with everything I tell you on the Global Bob Show, we ad-lib this. There's not research going on. I don't have this big staff behind me. So if I do get some of the stuff wrong, or hello, Shelley. Mm-hmm. If she gets some of the stuff wrong, then, what we're doing is giving you generalized antidotes. And, so please don't flame us. I think we got like 3 listeners now between, my family and friends. So, my 3 only listeners out there, please don't flame us. But, so there's a term. Maybe people don't know what that term is. Like my mom, she probably doesn't know what does it mean when someone flames somebody else?
That's like, not like hating on them, but like telling on them maybe?
Yeah, like talking trash,
right?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to flame you because.
Do you know who's one of the biggest flamers in my family? Is my younger brother, MJ. Oh my gosh, man, he will flame you in a heartbeat. So I don't know how we got on the flaming subject, but yeah. So what happened is that these scammers approached Haley Welch, the Haktua girl, and they knew how popular she was and things, and they said, hey, you should have your own cryptocurrency, and we know. All the time I talk about, I don't like cryptocurrency unless there's a utility behind it, right?
Right. And
so I guess she was going to come out with the Haktua coin, if I remember correctly. And so they used her fame and they pumped this thing up quite a bit. Now, someone who has made their own cryptocurrency, such as myself, that's used for a utility, I'm like, okay, well, what utility could Haktua coin be traded in for? And I got to be careful. I got to keep this PG. If not, then Apple. Apple.
We don't want that.
Yeah, they'll get upset with you and pull you off the podcast. But I was like, hey, what would you trade the Haktua coin in? Well, naturally, there's nothing you traded in. Had no utility. But so they got it in there. They got her to hype it all up. And as soon as this thing went up, I mean, it was making millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then the people that designed the cryptocurrency, they kept a bunch of it back, right? Because when you create a cryptocurrency, you can, since you're the author, you're like, hey, I'm going to keep like 1 billion crypto tokens that are absolutely worthless, by the way. And then I'm going to put the other ones out there. And so what happened is that it went up real high and they what they call pulled the rug out from under it. And it went down to next to nothing. And
wow.
And so really, I mean, we all know about Haley Welch and we know about Haktua, but she was a victim. And everybody here's our term, they flamed her across the internet. They lit her up. And all she was a beautiful, naive girl that was used by the folks that created the cryptocurrency. Yeah. So there we go. There's our first in-depth.
And she disappeared.
She did. She had a podcast and she had a lot going for her.
She did.
Yeah. I mean, I actually tuned into some of her podcast and she did them like live, I think. Who's the girl that was the singer? Man, I had little butterflies in her hair. I can picture, JoJo Siwa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was one of the best ones. She was on there with JoJo Siwa, and I couldn't believe, I mean, I can't even tell you what JoJo Siwa, but I know that my little nieces, they loved JoJo Siwa, and they had all the stuff for their hair and everything. But it's like, I never thought that I would be trying to listen to a podcast with Haley Welch and JoJo Siwa. I digress. Yeah, so that is one where they made millions off of that. But let's talk about some of the most common ones that folks get. I know that lately I've been getting a lot of them from SunPass, where we're at now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, down here in Florida, SunPass is a big thing. And I know they got all these other passes.
Unpaid tolls.
Unpaid tolls. They text it to you.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've had some of my friends tell me is that they'll respond to that text message that they get and say some derogatory term, or they'll tell them that, you're a scammer, and they'll try to communicate with them. And as you know, that's not a good thing to do, whether they call you on your phone or they hit you on a text message. You don't want to respond back to them because all you're doing is putting yourself in another pile. But, just like with any of these scams, what they're trying to do is figure out what your scamability is, I guess. If you even respond back to it, now you've just shown that there's a live person on the end of that. And now they put you in a different pile. Also, too, when they do this scammy stuff and they land on your phone, one of the key things they understand is that you're an Apple user or an Android user because of the different style. Like if it's an Android, it may light up green, I think, and blue. So just from there, they know, hey, I got a live person. I have their phone number that I can, and also they know what kind of device you have, and then they can start packaging up. And so then the next scam that comes along may not be about tolls. It may be something to the effect of, hello, Shelley.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, hello. That's funny, the whole hello, Shelley thing. But then it may be something like, hey, your Apple account is past due.
Right.
And they know that you have an Apple phone or an Android phone. And all this does is it builds up like a dossier or a profile. So I know that's one. And really, those are called phishing. Aren't they like a general phishing? So whether it comes in on email or phone and stuff. But one of the ones I want to talk about is the romance scam. Now, we understand how beautiful Global Bob is. And I get these all the time, and it comes through as a very attractive woman. And she'll send me a picture, whether it's on Telegram or Signal, not that much. I don't know why I don't get them that much on Signal, and I never get them on text. It seems to be like
it's mostly like a social media type platform.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That you receive those.
Yeah, and I know I also started locking down my Facebook quite a bit. I don't use Facebook a lot, but it's usually an attractive woman. And then people say, well, wow, okay, how does she end up on there? But what folks don't realize is that all this can be from the same person or the same group, and they're kind of grooming, right? So now they know what phone you use. They know if you're responding back. Now they're going to do a little catfishing there. Isn't that what it's called? Catfishing?
Yeah, catfish.
And what they're doing is basically grooming you to figure out what things you respond to. And then it'd be a lot of text messages back and forth. And
like subtle talk.
Yeah, subtle talk, right?
Yeah.
Like small talk, little chitter chattering.
Like, hey, how you doing?
I'm like, oh.
Are you having a good day today?
Oh, I'm having a great day.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Me too.
Yeah. But it's not just adults that are getting these. There's ones out there that are targeting young children. And when I say young, I'm talking about like 16, 17 years old. And what they'll do is they'll finally become friends with them. And then they'll ask, like they'll send them some nudie pictures, I guess you would call it, or some compromising photos of themselves. And then to get that person to send one back. Now, I do know a few of my guy friends, none of the girlfriends, but a couple of my guy friends, they talk to these girls. And they're like, well, what does it matter if I talk to them? And, it's not like, but I'm like, I know, but you're putting yourself out there. But what they're trying to do is get you to send them a picture. And if you send them back a picture, and then they'll ask for like a picture of you in a mirror, something that they can add positive attribution that it's you, right? Because they'll say, oh, how do I know that's really you? And some of them are even so sophisticated, they're asking you to hold up like your driver's license, but to hold your hand over the address. So they're very convincing, right? And next thing they do, then they move into like an extortion type route where, I'm going to put all these out on the internet, or they've already done a lot of research and know what your social circles are. And maybe if you're married or in a relationship, they know who your significant other is, and they actually threaten to publish these.
It's like blackmail, isn't it?
That's exactly what it is. And so, you start off with something that's very benign, just chit chat, knowing they're a scammer. But before you know it, if you let your guard down, then you're wrapped up in this thing. And what do they say? Oh, I like to get some Bitcoin or whatever, Haktua coins or something. No Haktua. They know those are useless coins. But that's what they do. And then you never get out of these scams, right? And so that's a big one. Another one is these charity scams. And we know, living here in Florida, right, what happens every year about this time? Hurricanes come through.
Yeah, and storms and stuff.
Yeah, storms. And all of us, they play on our emotions. And this is something that's really important to hone in on is these scams most of the time only work because of playing on your emotions. And so they wait for an event to happen, whether it's a hurricane here in Florida or earthquake in California, tornadoes out west, you name it. The Ukraine war, when that happened, remember a lot of people were feeling really like patriotic and wanting to help the Ukrainians. Yeah. And so these scammers, they will send you something and say, donate $1 or donate $2, something like cheap. And you click on it and you donate some information. Well, one of the things that was very common is that you click on the link, it takes you to a page to enter in your credit card number. Well, what they'll do is they'll have that page made and it's sending them your credit card information, all your information, and then they're manually punching it into what they call a virtual terminal. And so now not only do you, because you're used to when you check out at like Walmart or any of the legitimate sites, we all know there's a lot of security around that, those sites. So your credit card information is never actually stored on Walmart.
Right.
Even if you save your information on there, it's not technically stored. And I don't want to get into all the details, but they store like a token that represents that. Well, see, these scammers, not only have you given them $1 or $2, something benign, but now they have your full information.
Right.
And then later on, say 6-8 months from then, they'll start hitting the credit cards again and seeing if anybody notices. And we've all done it before. We sell it like, what's this charge on my credit card? It's like, it's only $2. Who cares? But you can think about that if, say, 10% of people will donate to them that they send the messages to, and then another, out of those folks, they can hit those cards again, and they just keep cycling it. Why we're talking about all this is that folks say, wow, that could happen to anybody, but how successful are they? And they were very successful. I was doing a little bit of searching not too long ago, and I'm just going off of memory here. And one cyber attack or one of these events happens every 39 seconds.
Wow.
There's like 12 trillion in 2025. Like, it's a $12 trillion industry. There was a fact that was about like 27% of folks were scammable, and now it's up to 88%. And it's not that we're getting dumber; it's just that they're getting better, and they're finding other ways to scam you. But I mean, if you think about $12 trillion is what this industry, and it's all illegal money. Yeah. And then kind of like what we talked about is that it's all Bitcoin based, cryptocurrency based. And as you know, it's hard to track Bitcoin down.
Right.
And so one of the scams that I'm very, very intimate with is one that happened to an individual. And from all research that was done, that they were grooming that individual for almost a year. And they played on that individual's emotions. And it started out small, but these scammers were very, very, very good. They created fake documents. They created this whole persona with different people that this person was talking to. And someone like yourself, who is a cybersecurity expert, you could look at this and see it, as we say down in the South, from a mile away, But when they played on this person's emotions and they brought it all together, they ended up getting countless thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, which is really sad. But so what we want to talk about is also just how can you have, I like to call it the human firewall. Now, tell us what a firewall does on the computer, right?
So a firewall blocks any kind of virus or maybe a document that has something that was put in it. The computer will just keep these kind of things out from accessing into the system.
Right. So if you think about it in that respect, I think that folks need to establish their own human firewall. And you just got to really, really, really be careful. So when these charity scams come around, I can't do anything if you're looking for love. I mean, I don't know. I guess to combat that, you need to go down to a bar. But even nowadays, we're seeing some of these scammers for what they call the well. That's another term in the scam, the well.
The well.
That's somebody that's really, really rich, that has money, that's just, whatever. Like they wipe their ass with like $20 bills and crap, maybe even $100 bills. And so these scammers will actually run operations against them in bars and hotels. I know in particular, my dad has a friend that this happened to.
Wow.
And this was an electronic scam. This was way back in the day. That they were at a hotel, and there was an attractive lady there that had taken an interest in his friend, and my dad actually put a stop to it, and which was really, really awesome. So when you're out there on the interwebs, internet, dark web, wherever you hang out at, just have your human firewall up. I mean, if things don't sound right, look right, but you just got to be careful. That you don't give out these little trinkets of information.
Right.
With me, I'm a public figure, and so all of my information is out there. So these scammers probably have a nice dossier on me, and so I don't mind telling you, personal information, but really I shouldn't even be doing that.
Right.
But I understand how to operate in this. And so you want to have your human firewall. And you know who's really good about this? Who do you think in my family probably has one of the best human firewalls outside of me? Who do you think has one of the best human firewalls up?
I would say your dad.
Why does everybody always say my dad? Yeah, he's a very smart individual. But my mom.
Oh, your mom, yes.
My mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
She is a cyber ninja. Actually, she's maybe I'll give her a new term. Maybe she's a cyber vigilante, right?
Yeah.
My mom will get these toll scams, tax scams. And what does she do? She takes a picture of it, a screenshot, and she'll text it to me. And she says, "Hey, this looks like a scam." I'm like, well, Mom, I mean, unless you've been on the New Jersey Turnpike here in the last 10 days or whatever, probably is a scam. So she's really, really good about that. She'll get these friend requests on Facebook. And
who's that?
Yeah, who is that? And she'll take a screenshot. And
They're a scammer.
Yeah, and she says, "Hey, this person's only friends with 5 other people." And so I don't know if she's bored or if she's a cyber vigilante at this point, because she'll send it. And I'm like, "Mom, that is awesome. That's way to go."
Yeah.
And so on the Facebook, what they're doing is that a lot of folks have their Facebook locked down, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Well, I got it locked down, but I want like old friends and family to be able to get a hold of me. And so it's like, who can see your stuff? Friends of
Right.
friends. And so if you're
Right.
friends of friends, my mom's friends of friends, and if we're in that little circle, all they got to do,
They could just see each other.
well, they just friend one of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then next thing you know, now they have access to my social network, right?
Right. Right.
And then what are they doing? They're looking at pictures. They're looking into stuff to build up that dossier
Right.
and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I know I give a lot of shouts out to Mom, but man, I mean, that's really good for someone at her age, and she doesn't even use a computer.
That's good.
Yeah, she doesn't use a computer. It's like all iPhone and iPad, but still, she's out there.
Yeah.
And so, no, this is not a challenge. Please do not try to fish Mom and see if you can get something to come through. But yeah, so what I'm telling everybody is you need to have this human firewall in place, because you don't want to be part of this $12 trillion industry that's supporting this.
Right.
But you mentioned something that was really key, and this is one that people may not know, is the antivirus scam. So tell us a little bit about the antivirus scam.
So I think a lot of it comes through email.
Mm-hmm.
And in the email, they say, oh, please sign up for a free trial for, let me throw one out there, Kaspersky.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. That just sounds suspicious.
Yeah,
I know that
it does.
So for y'all that don't know, Kaspersky is a legitimate antivirus corporation.
It is.
And they were out of Russia. And
very popular at one time.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They were. Well, they were cheap, and they were good. Mm-hmm. But now we know what's happening in Russia. So so they throw it out there, and they're like, "Hey, come sign up for Kaspersky," but with a Y at the end. It has like an I at
exactly.
the end. Right? And then what happens? You click on the link.
Click on this link, and then all of a sudden, it could be their computer's gets infected, or or maybe it's a site to put in their information, like credit card information.
Yeah. Moreover, too, they'll actually let you download an application. I've seen this before.
Oh.
So it's Kaspersky with an I instead of a Y, which ski, whatever. And they'll actually download the application, and when the application comes down, they use the same logos as that of the antivirus, and it will come up, and it is scanning your computer for viruses. But really what it's scanning your computer for is for PII. So my listeners out there, PII is personally identifiable information, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're looking for names, so security numbers, addresses, phone numbers, all of that stuff, because what do? We store it securely on our computer. Mm-hmm. And it's instantly sending that information back. And here's the other thing with the antivirus scam. You don't run 2 antiviruses on your computer, right?
Right.
So they know the people that are clicking on the link don't have antivirus. So therefore, it's not going to detect their malware that they bring down. And so you think about it, it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, let's do an antivirus scam. Not that I want to do an antivirus scam, but you click on it and it can easily, instantly exploit that computer. And also, too, you're actually installing it. So you're like, hey, I'm installing this. Right. And if it does get installed, and I'm not going to get into all the mechanics of it, right? But they're actually signing it, making it all look legit. And stuff. And then it's sending back that information. And so best case scenario, because you don't have antivirus, that they've exploited your computer. And then if you actually install it, now they have what they call persistent access to your computer. That means anytime you do anything, your computer, your laptop lid is open, then they have unfeathered access into that. So the antivirus scam is really one of the ones that I consider the most dangerous, right? Because you don't have antivirus, so you're clicking on it.
Right.
But how do they do this? They go to Google, and this isn't anything bad against Google or Bing or name whatever, Alta Vista. Remember that old?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Alta Vista, right?
Yep.
But they go on there and they get the keywords and there's an advertisement. And so like I talked about with other scams, it plays on your emotions, right? And it's like, well, I need antivirus. And so I go searching for antivirus. I see an ad, and this is, using the Google AdWords and advertisement. And so it looks like it's all legit because it found it on Google.
Right.
And people that don't know think that, well, if it's being advertised on Google or Bing or name your search engine, then it must be legit. And so what I'm trying to show here is that it's not a one size fits all when it comes to a scam. They have to figure out what kind of stuff you're interested in and what state your device is in. And so if they send you a phishing to your phone, then they know you click on that link, it knows it came from an iOS device. Well, if they send it to an Apple phone and you're logged into iMessenger on your Apple and you click on it, now they know that you came from a Mac device. And so now they can start packaging these things together. So when they do actually put what I like to say, send you the goods or the value-added code, that it's highly tailored and high success rate that they're going to land on that computer. All right. Well, we're at the bottom of the half hour, and I'd like to thank everybody that tunes in. As always, please send us any feedback on what you want to hear from the show. It looks like Hello Shelley may be, this is her second on the podcast. So if she makes it through 5 podcasts in a row, maybe we'll invite her to be a co-host. We're always looking for people to come out on the show and give us their perspective and ask questions. You don't have to be technical. I'd love to, really we need to get my mom in here and get her mic'd up because I think that would be great. So next week, we will talk a little bit more about the training series that we're doing here at the Chamber, where we're going to show folks how to actually use AI for their home, how to do it for like home budgets and contracts and also in the workplace. And so we'll be talking a lot more about that. So until next time, everybody stay cyber safe. And if you have any questions or comments, concerns, please email us at globalbobshow@gmail.com. If you want to, go ahead and send me a fish email or try to spam me or whatever. We'll see if you can get through Global Bob's human firewall. All right, until next time.